Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a replay broadcast. It's Rifkin and Zeph once more for Basetradetv, and spawning here in the lower left corner of the map, you see him as Power Drone, but he is known as EGMachine.
And his opponent this round is going to be the red Terran in the top right hand corner of Daybreak. It is Dyce.
And just a quick little bump, guys. Machine, pretty cool guy overall, probably one of the nicest pros in the Starcraft 2 scene, but he also streams quite frequently, so go check him out. His stream is, of course, twitch.tv/machine USA!
Yeah, we don't actually know too much about his opponent this time. Dyce is a Grandmaster Terran, and we believe he streams, but we're not entirely sure about that. So it'll be interesting to see what he actually whips out in this TVZ.
Yeah, Terran versus Zerg, it's kind of funny because I think a lot of these players, whether you're a Grandmaster, whether you're Silver, a lot of these guys are still feeling each other out. Nobody knows what the, even though it's been almost 2 months at this point, what the proper meta is for Heart of the Swarm. So
Yeah.
you see a lot of people default okay, I'll go with Marines and Tanks because I'm Terran, and okay, I'll counter that with Mutalisks and Banelings because I'm Zerg. But I gotta say, I'm loving watching some of these pros play, whether it's Machine, whether it's Snute, whether it's your favorite European, Korean, it doesn't matter. People are trying all sorts of different strategies, and I'm really excited to see what goes down here today.
Yeah, for sure. I've really always liked how Terran has 1,000,001 ways to open in the early game, while the other races, it's a hatch first always for Zerg, unless they decide to 6 pool or 10 pool every once in a while. But apart from that, you pretty much know what they're going to do, and they're going to play very reactively. So Terran, I think it's really cool how they can kind of go, well, this game I'm going to go Hellions, and then the next game I'm going to go Widowmines, and then the next game I'm going to go Banshee. You never know what they're going to do, and it makes it a lot more exciting.
Well, one thing I really like too for Terran opener is we see the 11 gas. Normally indicates a Reaper, but ooh,
Yeah.
oh, there we go. I was gonna say maybe a bit of a misclick there with the Marine first. But the thing that's so great about Reapers is, even if you go for 13 rags, they still hit at a timing where the Queens won't be on the field. Only Slowlings, if that, will be out to oppose you, and you can kite Slowlings all day, on, off creep, doesn't matter. Reapers are so darn quick now. So sometimes you see players, they'll throw down 2 rags even, and just do some super heavy Reaper pressure with it. And I've seen people pick off Queens, Spore Crawlers, Spine Crawlers, always mix those two up, with Reapers in the early game. But the follow-up is the big question. He's probably going to go for another CC by the looks of it. Yep, there we go.
Yep, there it is. And you're absolutely right about the Reaper thing. I mean, I haven't played for a little bit, and then I started practicing again on ladder, and I was just getting absolutely owned by the Reapers because I wasn't used to that sort of multitasking that early on in the game, and I was forgetting to take drones off gas, and I forgot to keep pumping out drones or forgot an Overlord, and it just really, really messed up my early game. So it really shows that if you're not on the ball, this actually does really mess you up.
If I recall, ooh, actually a nice drone snipe there, so already making it worth it for this Reaper. Almost getting second one, but Machine with a very quick save in.
Oh, wow.
My goodness, almost trapping in that Reaper. That would have been huge to pick this off with Slowlings.
Yeah, that would have been so sick, but unfortunately the Reaper does get away. Very slippery
combat
Reaper, and he's gonna
drugs.
start healing up.
Already
Yeah.
kicking in. Meanwhile, Natural in a bit of trouble, but the Queen pops out. Machine again saving these drones. And of course, some people are like, well, what's the point? If you cancel the buildings, you still lose the resources. But it's that larva in the early game. Before these queens are out, before injects are available, drones are really important.
Yeah, that's for sure. And at this point, if you lose drones, they probably have died before they've actually even paid for themselves in terms of minerals. So, I mean, whatever you can get in the early game is going to be great for the Terran, but it looks like it has been pretty much nullified for now with the arrival of the Queen. Speed is also halfway done. It would be kind of cool to see if once that command center lands on the low ground for Dyce, if Machine goes for some sort of big amount of lings and tries to catch the Terran out, because I've seen a few Zergs try and do that sort of thing and catch really greedy Terrans out for not having a bunker or not having enough units out.
Well, that does tend to be the case, but Dyce is playing anything but greedy this game. I mean, you got the command center up after the barracks, it's up on the high ground, he hasn't even taken a second gas, and with 3 racks in a factory of production, I think he'll be pretty alright, as long as it's not like, oh, I forgot to produce units, because, that apparently can happen. But more importantly, he's got his tech on the way, he's going for an infantry follow-up to this, and I gotta say, it's really nicely situated here in the early game. The reactor on the factory will allow for some Widowmines, but Reapers and Hellions poking in here starting to clean up creep tumors, but there's so many links coming across the field, and the supply depots are down. There's nothing at home. Is this going to be a quick end to the game?
It could be. I mean, there's no bunker, but no quick reactions by Dyce. He puts those supplies depots up. Unfortunately, the SCVs and even a mule are trapped down below, and it looks like they will be getting picked off by the Lings. But Dyce actually smartly runs them away, so he's going to buy himself some time.
However,
EG's
machine taking some heavy fire at home, barbecuing some drones up already, picking off quite a few. Let's check the work count. 6 for 6 so far, but these Hellions are not done yet, Zev. Oh, and the drone's clumping up. Oh, that was pretty close.
Yeah, but it looks like these Hellions will finally get cleaned up. There's an SCV hiding out at the third base for Machine, but that's not going to do any damage. So where do we stand after that? Still 6 for 6, so I guess they really did trade blows there.
Yeah, but denying the natural, actually forcing Dyce to lift off, did hurt pretty bad. Let's not forget a couple of mules were picked off in that engagement as well. But with Widowmines on the field of Marines, he should be more than prepared to deal with any sort of flop. We have more Zerglings coming across the field, sure, but the Widowmines are about to come off cooldown.
Machine
and it's armed.
This into account. Oh, we actually take some Marines down with him, but unfortunately the rest of those Lings go down too.
I have to speak for a second on behalf of all Terran players out there. As a Terran player myself, it is so frustrating knowing how many things we have in our arsenal that does friendly fire damage compared to any other race. Siege tanks, Widow Mines, Ravens, I mean, come on, Terran. Talk about self-destruction.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the price you pay for having cool units like Widow Mines. Gosh, I'd be more than happy to not have those in the game.
Well, while Widow Mines are really nice, I mean, they take very little effort to use effectively, that is true, but you can still out-micro them is the thing. Actually, Machine trying to get in here, not a great idea. Too many Marines, forget the Widow Mines. But yeah, I mean, there's really cool tricks you can do to get around the Widow Mines. One of them, of course, dropping Changelings out of vision. You can trigger the Widow Mine with that. One Zergling in at a time, but more importantly, Banelings, you know, the Widow Mine's like, oh, great, we killed the Banelings, but oh, they exploded on top of us, so we're gone now, too. It's kind of a funny situation.
Takes a bit of getting used to, like all changes in the game. Now here we go, we have a push from Dyce, really nicely timed considering that
this is gonna hurt.
Machine just lost a bunch of Lings. So here we go, let's see if he can defend it, but there's still so many Widow Mines.
The Widow Mine's killing the Terran player more than Machine does, and this is what I'm talking about with our friendly fire, Zev. I don't even...
That just saved, that actually just saved Machine a lot of trouble.
Absolutely.
And
the stutter step from those Marines could have absolutely dealt with the Marines, but these Widow Mines are about to arm once more, and if Machine...
Wow,
I like this. He knows... Yeah, of course, you can see the Widow Mines, the little circular platelets, but... Oh no! Grouping up onto the unarmed ones!
Oh, no. Well, he still manages to take out most of them, and there's the Overseer as well. Alright, so he doesn't manage to clean that up, and let's have a look at the work count.
With a little bit of patience, hang on, okay, worker count, it's actually looking very nice for Machine. You kind of joked and accidentally called him Ret, but you know what, with the way this is going, with the workers. But I was going to say, Machine had a really nice spread, whether it's incidental or on purpose. He could have, if he had just waited like 5 seconds, triggered those Widow Mine hits on 4 Zerglings instead of like all of them.
Yeah, true. I think just the hatching of the Overseer there made the AI go, oh, look, there's something nearby I can attack it.
Get it.
But yeah, I mean, it happens. He didn't lose anything devastating there, so it's okay. And he does have a Spire on the way too. That's about to finish up, and he's got a decent bank. So I don't think Dyce actually is very prepared for this at all.
Well, more interesting than the Spire to me at least is we get the +2 weapons on the way, whereas Dyce is kind of not even on 1-1. He hasn't even started them yet.
Oh wow. I didn't even notice that.
And while the Mutalisks are going to be great for cleaning up the medevacs and maybe soaking a Widow Mine hit or two, the Marines are going to have such a hard time trying to deal with not only the Zerglings, but look at the Banelings, 10 on the way, Centrifugal Hooks on the way as well, so speed going to be a huge factor.
Yeah, well, hopefully the Widow Mines can get some more money hits that hopefully this time kill more Lings than they do Marines, but we've got Siege Tank support even this time, so perhaps Machine wants to make sure he gets a bit of a flank here. He is in danger of losing his third base.
Yeah, Machine also supply block at the man, but look at that pre-spread retreating back across the Siege Tank fire. Widow Mines going off, and here come the Banelings. What are they getting? I don't even... What just happened? Nice
really
pickup
nice
by Dyce. Yeah.
Very nice, but is there just too much from Machine? It looks like just barely not enough Lings to clean this up. The Overseer is going to go down, and now the hatchery is going to be under siege.
22 more on the way though, should be able to deal this, because again, he's got that +2/2 about to kick in any second now, whereas Dyce is kind of stuck on these no upgrades. Hatchery is almost going to fall, but the drone pull might actually just save it.
Oh, look at that positioning. That is very nice from Dyce. maximizing the efficiency of those units.
And
They're
the
picking up,
pickup-
lifting off to a new location.
And this is why you need to have Mutalisks on the field to really start sniping away at these medevacs. But Machine, he's on top of this. Zerglings are following the medevacs as they should. Queen might actually start poking away, yep.
He sure is. I think he might have actually gotten supply block there for a second.
Oh,
with the
Machine
death
was
of the
supply
Overseer and
blocked
Overlord.
for like the first half of that.
Yeah, because he hasn't made any mutas just yet, so he's only pumping those out now, plus the attack upgrade. So those will be coming out, but it has given Dyce some time to kind of prepare for that sort of tech.
And like, let's not forget, a Terran player on 3 base is something to really be feared. If you let Mr. Dyce here take that 4th base to secure it with a planetary, which he's gonna do with the location-wise, but if he goes for that 4th base, which would be his typical 3rd base, it's gonna be pretty much impossible to break him. I mean, tanks, marines, unless you go for that quick switch, like, you know, get rid of the tanks, switch to ultras in like one larva location, or sorry, rotation, then it's so difficult to break a Terran player. But with these Banelings, Mutalisks, and Zerglings, it can absolutely be done.
For sure, but Terrans are notoriously hard to kill these days, especially once they get tanks and Widow Mines out in a nice defensive position. You've got a planetary to fall back on here, so I'm not sure how much damage he'll actually be able to do, but it looks like he might actually try and go for something. In the meantime, he is securing his own 4th base. I suppose the only thing that Machine really has to be careful of at this point is that his 3rd base is kind of low, so if it gets hit from the front by some bio, it could very well go down.
I love the positioning of his static defense here, by the way. There's no way for our Terran player to really just straight drop unmineralized, but Planetary gonna do so much damage to these Zerglings. Oh, but the Banelings getting picked up by almost all of the tanks and the Planetary. Machine losing all of his ground forces and only Mutalisks engage Marines. Not always the best choice. He's gonna be forced to pull back.
Yeah.
But look at that. Like 50 Zerglings just popped. He's going in for round 2.
Yeah, and do we have any more siege tanks on the way? We've got a couple of Widow Mines coming out for Dyce at this point. He's getting the drilling claws too.
Zeph, how many Banelings are coming down here in the middle of the field? 29 on the way. I know one good way to deal with a planetary fortress.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty scary, but if those Banelings do clump up, there are some Widow Mines ready for some choice hits on the big clump of Banelings, so let's see if he can make it happen. Otherwise, he's going to be in a spot of bother, I think.
This is quite... I'm sorry, that's a funny phrase. Spot of bother. Want some tea? But yeah, Machine coming in here, going hard, power drone on the front line. Zerglings are going to actually take most of the Widow Mine fire, which is great for these Banelings, but Banelings are not connecting to anything really that they need to. The Marines are not going down the planetary, it's not being focused. It does go down to the splash damage. But was that worth it? I mean, Machine lost so many resources just to get the planetary.
Yep, there's a drop coming down to the 3rd base or 4th base. Yep, 3rd base of Machine at this point. So this is going to help keep Machine off his back for a little bit. Can Dyce actually get this hatchery? I think it's going to go down.
Oh, it's absolutely going to go down. Picks up, and the Widow Mine hit to clean it up as well. I mean, our Terran player is playing this very nicely, but Machine also making some very interesting, I don't know, we're going to call them choices to be nice, but quite frankly, mistakes here. I mean, he's got the nice static defense, which I was talking about earlier, and I really like this because, again, it prevents drops from behind, but Dyce recognizing this comes in just from the front, where, quite frankly, Machine's army should have been postured, but instead, you know, we got these awkward fights around that 4th base, the planetary eating up so much resources, and Dyce coming in for round, I don't know, 5 at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty scary. He'll be able to clear up some of the creep and some of the vision of Machine at this point too, and he's going to stim in. Can he actually do any damage? The Widow Mines are armed, but they do go off on relatively nothing. There are still 3 armed ones left, however.
Oh, I love the carnage that is Banelings as they roll in. And what? Despite dying to the Banelings, I saw Widow Mine still get that shot off. What the heck is that?
Widow Mine's a good unit.
Oh, apparently. I'm a Terran player, and even I can't believe that just happened. But Machine, I want to point out that while he did lose that 3rd base, which is really unfortunate, since he had his 4th up and running, he was able to transfer actually most of his drones over and just continue mining. So economically, not really that disrupted, just not ahead like you might want to be.
Yeah, true. I mean, it does knock him back to the same amount of bases as Dyce was on. But mind you, we did just see Dyce's 3rd base get destroyed too, so...
This is what I'm talking about, Zeph. The Ultra Cavern now coming out. This is what the strength of the Zerg is, I feel. It's not the Banelings constantly smushing into Marines. It's not the Zerglings swarming or the Mutalisks being abusive. It's being able to make quick switches in your tech path. A Terran player can't quickly go from having 11 reactors to tech labs and get Marauders out. And in doing so, you know, that being the catch of a Terran, Go Ultras, why not? What are Marines gonna do? Tickle the Ultralisk? I mean, really? I mean, Widow
Yeah.
Mines, as good as they are, barely hurt Ultralisks as well.
Yeah, I mean, people aren't really even feeling the desperate need to get infestors out before getting their ultras even. That's how strong they are these days. They're happy to quite frankly, just kind of move into the army with their ultras and see what they can do. And
Big
then later on
question.
add in those infestors.
With 3 Ultralisks on the way, will Machine have the skin for these or not?
Yeah, that's a big question. That's always the most exciting part of the game.
I know, they look so darn
play.
cool. But a nice denial of the space here from Power Drone. I mean, Machine recognizes that, you know, with the way he's been handled here at his third base, he can't allow his opponent to take this one.
And he may just be able to swing around into the natural too.
Oh,
Dyce didn't see that
absolutely.
coming.
And the supply depot is being raised. Oh my goodness, actually really, I can say Dyce has got some really nice reaction time in this game, but Machine unfortunately not going to be able to do too much due to that pull, but disrupting the economy, albeit briefly, still a pretty big win. 40
Yeah.
to 24 on the planet.
Interestingly, it seems like Machine's actually gone for more ultras rather than going for his 3-3 and adrenal upgrades. So he's really just powering out as many ultras as
You know,
possible
if
right
he
now. It
can
looks like he
hit-
really wants to kill him.
Yeah, especially if he hits before the 3-3 of our Terran player, that'll be fine. Chitinous plating going to play a huge role
Yep.
regardless of upgrades. Plus all of these banelings, I mean the ultras, those who don't know, you can have a tank hit an ultra and it's big enough that it actually soaks the splash damage. So these Zerglings could be protected. But third base not looking too good. Fourth base rather for Dyce. And
This
oh,
seems
I
pretty
love this.
smart, actually.
Machine's waiting. He wants the reaction. He knows he's going to have to respond one way or another.
Here
And
it
oh my
comes.
god, Zeph.
Oh,
He's
no,
going to catch
he's
this
moving
army in
up.
a pincer move that can only be described as legendary.
Yeah, well, very nice job by Dyce. He's kind of cautious, but he unseages at the wrong time, and Machine seizes his chance. He's going in there
Oh,
with
no
tons of
splits on
banelings.
those Marines either. And these two Ultralisks are more than enough to deal with a ton of damage to these Marines. I mean, look at this. Marines trying to do what they can, but as I said, tickling the Ultralisks at best. Meanwhile, Zerglings, Mutalisks making it into the main, flooding into the fourth with more Ultralisks, planetary fortressing what it can, but Machine... Oh, he doesn't even get a GG. He definitely deserved one, because holy moly, look at the resources lost. Even at the end, he was so far behind, but that quick switch I was talking about is the power of the Swarm, and Machine utilizing it very nicely.
Yeah, that was beautifully played by Machine, and all credit to him. Well played by Dyce, though. Very nice defensive postures, but unfortunately it just wasn't quite enough against the might of a ton of ultras.
Alright guys, thanks again for watching the broadcast. Hope you enjoyed it. This is Rifkin and Zeph signing off. Take care.